I don't know if anybody knew it was going to be quite this big, quite that fast.
It's proven to be a perfect match. The Summit League tournament and the city of Sioux Falls. The two came together in 2009. Prior to that, the tournament roamed to different universities in the region. Since then, the numbers speak for themselves.
It's been just one great game after another.
Attendance records seem to fall year after year, including last year's men's semifinals between USD and SDSU, which drew more than 11,000 fans. Summit League Commissioner Tom Duple says the demand is already spilling into future tournaments.
The tickets. You know, I want you to know that we still have a couple hundred tickets left in the lower bowl for next year. I mean, it's crazy. Here we are talking about 2019, and we only have a few hundred tickets left in the lower bowl.
SDSU women's coach Aaron Johnston has seen the tournament grow in Sioux Falls. In fact, he's the only head coach from either SDSU or USD to coach in each Summit League tournament since the move in 2009.
Having been a part of all of them makes me feel old, for one. It also makes me feel pretty fortunate, because on the women's side we look around, and I know we say this because we're local, but it really is the best women's basketball tournament in the country.
Johnston says moving from the Sioux Falls Arena to the Premier Center in 2015 has created a better experience for players and the fans.
You're in really one of the best basketball venues in the country. It's a perfect size for what our event is, so it gets filled up and it gets loud. Proximity to, I think, a lot of fan bases, I think, is really good. And then I think if you look at the quality of all the teams, men's and women's team, everybody's gotten better over the last 10 years.
In Sioux Falls, David Kline, KDLT News.
Yeah, Gil, Placer High School was the place to be tonight. An incredible football game, one of the best high school football games I've ever seen in person. What's going on, guys? David Kline with your sports today, and we have a fully loaded sports report for you, including what did Texans owner Robert McNair say that made his team furious, and how did they respond? I'll show you next. And also, at Cal Poly playing here in a triple option offense, what position or skills are you really focusing on for these NFL scouts? Kobe Bean Bryant's last game is Wednesday night
against the Utah Jazz.
And he's been playing his whole 20-year career with Los Angeles Lakers.
And Travis, on that last touchdown catch you had at least 20 yards behind your last defender. What allowed you to get so wide open on that last grab? Barcelona have beaten PSG the last two times they faced off in 2013 and 2015. Barcelona have also been past the round of 16 9 straight years. And lastly, Alex, you look now at the college football playoff with 4 teams now. They got rid of the BCS format. You know, what are your thoughts on the new format with the college football playoff? On the road against Trinidad and Tobago, needing only a draw, just 1 point, to clinch a trip to Russia next summer. It wouldn't start off well for the Yanks. 17th minute, Omar Gonzalez doesn't deal with a cross and deflects in his own net. And it gets worse in the 37th minute. Alvin Jones with an absolute beauty from 40 yards out. Trinidad now leading 2-0, but the USA would get one back in the 48th minute thanks to Christian Pulisic with a nice strike to cut the deficit in half, 2-1. And then another chance coming in the 77th minute for Clint Dempsey. He gets the ball outside the box and strikes it on his left foot, but it comes off the post, so close again for the Americans. But that would be the final. USA falls on the road 2-1 against Trinidad and Tobago. And since Honduras and Panama won both of their matches, the USA failed to qualify for the World Cup for the first time since 1986. Coming up after the break, the Danes facing off against Kazakhstan. We'll check out their highlights after the break. Speaking of the NFL, let's go back to Thursday night football for a quick second. Specifically, this huge hit Baltimore Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco took from Dolphins linebacker Kiko Alonso that knocked Flacco out of the game with a concussion. The word is, well, there's no word yet. The NFL is still mulling a decision on a possible suspension for Alonso, which should be coming this week. And Flacco's status for next Sunday's game against the Tennessee Titans is still up in the air. Kazakhstan facing off against Denmark in Group E play, 27th minute. Thomas Delaney sends the cross into the box. It falls to Nikolai Jorgensen, and he finishes with a sweet volley. Check it out again. Jorgensen with a class finish, putting the Danes up 1-0 early on. Now fast forward to the 41st minute. It's Malikov. Elbows high on Milinkovic, and he's shown a straight red by the referee. Kazakhstan have to finish the match with 10 men as they trail 1-0 at the half. 62 trialists have traveled as far as Kansas and Wisconsin to get the chance to play semi-professional soccer.
We just say, come out and enjoy a family atmosphere of kind of that next level of soccer that is missing from this area.
At the helm this year is new head coach Makan Anafa. The coach hopes to recruit new and old faces for the Thunder's campaign in the National Premier Soccer League. Coach Affa has previous playing and coaching experience as the coach of the Sioux Falls Spitfire and the University of Sioux Falls.
The experience of being at the minor league in the front office aspect of it as a player, but also in the collegiate coaching, I felt that I can come in with this team, be able to also help on the front office side of it, and then also on the coaching side of it.
His assistant Ryan Byer says the experiences the team had in their first season will prepare the guys coming into their second season.
That second year is always a little more stable. You have a little more footing underneath you, and you kind of know what to expect from the league as well as the teams you're going to play.
Due to weather, the first day of tryouts were held at the Avera Sports Dome, so the trialists were put in full field situations on the second day of tryouts instead of playing 9 or even 6-a-side games at the more compact Sports Dome.
Really, yesterday was a tight space, so we got to see how kids can work in tight spaces, and I know myself, even I struggled a little bit. You know, I was indoors, not ready for it, but hopefully today's a better day for us, and I think everyone else will be more comfortable on a bigger field.
Bryce Holiday is one of the many returning Thunder players participating in the tryouts. With a new coaching staff, they're not guaranteed a spot in the 26 to 30-man roster, so players like Holiday and defender George Lopez have to bring their A game to impress.
You know you got to fight for your spot again, so I mean, I was just back here grinding, trying to get my spot back, you know, hopefully. But there is a lot of talent right now, and we'll see how it goes.
The club begins regular season play in May against Minneapolis City SC. David Kline, KDLT News.